คุณผู้ชมคะเรื่องการทำงานเสรีภาพของสื่อเป็นพื้นฐานสำคัญในการทำหน้าที่ตรวจสอบแต่ขณะนี้เรื่องของเสรีภาพสื่อกำลังเป็นสถานการณ์ที่กำลังเผชิญความยุ่งยากในหลายๆประเทศนะคะสำหรับสื่อใหญ่อย่าง BBC ในโอกาสที่ผู้อำนวยการภาคภาษาต่างประเทศเดินทางมาเยือนประเทศไทยคุณวินิษฐาจิตกรีได้สอบถามว่ามีความเป็นห่วงสถานการณ์เสรีภาพสื่อโดยรวมในระดับโลกอย่างไรบ้างค่ะ
So what is your observation about the current press freedom situation in Thailand?
Well, obviously Thailand is a tricky area for us to operate in. There are a number of laws such as the Computer Crimes Act, the fact that libel is a criminal offence in this country, which means that actually I think they probably get in the way of a certain amount of freedom of speech. So it's not easy operating in this country, but nonetheless we seek to live within the law and try to do our jobs accordingly. But it's quite difficult for journalists operating in Thailand, and I think that's probably seen around the world as well.
From the discussion with journalists and academia, what is your perception about the current press freedom situation in Thailand?
Well, I think it's of a piece with many countries all over the world, where I do see a sort of rise in governments seeking to control the message. It's happening in many countries. It's always been the case, of course, but I do think I have anxieties about a rise in authoritarian governments who are clamping down on media freedom. We see, for instance, in Russia that actually the government there is hostile to media organisations with a different perspective from their own. In Europe even, members of the European Union, there are some countries, Poland and Hungary to name two examples, who have brought forward laws recently which are clamping down on media freedom. And I don't think that that is in line with democratic principles, and I would urge governments all over the world to consider media freedom as a priority.
Do you have any suggestion for Thai media in fulfilling our duty as member of the press under the current circumstances?
I think that it's about using as many different forums as possible to air the arguments around this, to have many discussions about what is appropriate, what are the regulations that are appropriate for the media to be operating under. But you know, I'm from the BBC and I'm firmly of the belief that access to information by people all over the world is a human right. It's only in that way that people can make informed decisions about their lives. It doesn't just govern politics, it governs all sorts of subjects. It governs the environment, it governs health, it governs technology. And if people don't have access to information, then they cannot make informed decisions. I also believe, though, that debate and discussion is healthy for societies. Nobody ever agrees with each other. We can't all ever agree with each other. And I do think that being able to express opinion in a safe space is a very important thing to do and helps people live with their differences and helps people understand that we all have differences and we have to provide some kind of social cohesion. And I think that being able to express different opinions is a vital part of that.
Could you please also share with us your experience in the past of what you encountered where you have problem in exercising press freedom?
Well, the BBC is banned in some places around the world. It's banned in Iran, for instance. Our bureau there was closed down some years ago and it's an offence to watch BBC output. That hasn't stopped Iranians from doing it. I think as many as 11 million of us view the BBC Persian channel, which is beamed in by satellite, and many people have illegal satellite dishes. So that shows that there is an appetite on the part of audiences all over the world, despite what governments try to do. And that's really what the BBC has always been about. It's there on the side of audiences and people. It's there to go over the heads of governments and provide people with information even when we're not wanted.
Do you have any comments or concern about the situation in other countries or in the ASEAN region?
Well, obviously we're concerned about China, where they spend an awful lot of money blocking foreign media and other media that they don't like. So that's obviously a big concern because China is such a huge country. In Russia, most of the people in Russia get their news from 3 television channels which are extremely pro-Kremlin, and we think there's a space there for other views to prevail. Rwanda, we have been banned in Rwanda because of a documentary which was made by part of the BBC that wasn't liked. So yes, all over the world the BBC has problems, but we'll stick to our editorial principles and carry on trying to reach audiences.